Ever feel like you're dragging your team and getting nowhere? I used to feel like that until I discovered this. Let me take you back to when I first joined my current business, and I got started pretty well. I recruited quite a few people, and I made the assumption that they would get started pretty well. I assumed that they would be self-starters. So I recruited them and told them where the training was and left them to it. And what was the result? You can guess, can't you? Pretty much nothing. Nobody really was doing anything, and I was extremely frustrated. I felt like I was the one doing all the phone calls. I was the one recruiting people. I was the one going to the events and trying to promote the events to other people. It felt like I was shouting into an empty room and nobody else was engaging. It felt like I was pushing a really heavy snowball up the hill. And it was 6 months and 1 day into my journey when I had a light bulb moment. I got to the first team leadership position in my business, and I went on a training designed for brand new team leaders in the business. And on that training course, I sat listening to the people that were delivering the course talking about some really obvious things, but they were so key to what you need to do. And I said to them at lunchtime, I wish that I'd known this before, because it would have saved me so much wasted effort. What were they saying? Really simple stuff. It was things like look for people that want to work. It was things like keep in touch with people. It was things like detach from the outcome. Really simple principles, but they were the principles that you need to apply in order to find more productive people and not be bothered by the outcomes. So let's go through those. The first of all is you are panning for gold. You are looking for gold, and you won't find gold unless you go looking for it. So you need to be out there looking for those people. We call them SAMs, switched on, ambitious, motivated people. You're looking to try and find them in amongst the total population. Now, there's a couple of ways that people find SAMs, switched on, ambitious, motivated people. The first is they recruit absolutely everybody and anybody and then try and find the SAMs in those people. That's one way of doing it, and it's a way that a lot of people do. But would you like to short circuit that? How about think, where can you find SAMs? Where can you find people that are switched on, ambitious and motivated? And if they've got a big network, even better. I'll give you an example. When I started in my business, I was in property. And there were a number of property networking events that were being launched at the same time. So I went to those events and I prospected the people that were already there. So property people are pretty switched on, ambitious and motivated, and property people that go to networking events have a big network of people like them. It was a really good place to recruit. I didn't know what I was doing. It was an inadvertent thing. I just thought this seems like a good idea. But actually, it really did bear fruit. So think about, where could you meet switched on, ambitious, motivated people who know a lot of people? Second thing, stay in contact regularly. This is especially true in the first few weeks when people are particularly vulnerable as a new person in your business, but it's true throughout their time in the business. That quick check-in call can make all the difference. So with a brand new person, they need to hear from you at least once a day. If they're really active, you might be speaking more often than that. But if they're a brand new person, speaking to them at least once a day, just find an excuse to ring them, whatever it is. It doesn't need to be more than a minute or two. But actually, that contact has many benefits. Firstly, as I said, they're really vulnerable at that stage. They're brand new. They've heard what you've got to say. They think it's a good idea, but they're vulnerable to their own doubts and their own internal voice telling them, maybe you can't do this, maybe it's not a good idea. You're also at that stage competing against other voices. So their partner, their friends, their concerned relatives, all of whom have good intentions to protect them, but may well be saying, you sure you can do this? You tried something before, that didn't work. Why do you think this is going to work? Maybe this is a scam. All of this stuff is going through their head. And if you're not there to reassure them and to help build their belief and remind them why they're doing it, then they may well get knocked off course by those other voices. So stay in contact regularly to build their confidence up. Also, if you're going to be panning for gold, you can't find the gold unless you actually speak to people regularly. So yes, you can recruit good quality people, and I would definitely advocate doing that. But you don't know of those good quality people who's actually going to get up and do something. You don't know who's going to have the initiative to go and do it. You can find somebody with all the attributes in the world, but if they're not hungry, then they're not going to go out and do it. So you're looking to find those hungry people, and then you can work with them to help them to get even more success. The third thing, don't be attached to the outcome. Some people won't engage, and that is just part of the process. Your job is literally to identify the people that are ready, and then when you identify the people that aren't, is to let them go gently. Leave the door open for them. So maybe just say to them something along the lines of, look, it doesn't seem to me as if now is the right time for you, because we've booked to speak 3 times this week and you haven't been able to make it, or whatever the reason is. It doesn't look like it's the right time for you. I've got some other people that I need to work with right now, but I will be ready and available as soon as you are ready. And that has one of 2 effects. It frees you up from the responsibility, and it lets them carry on with their life without feeling guilty about the fact that they're not doing what they said they were going to do. Or it sometimes makes them turn around and say, I'm really sorry. Actually, I do want to get going. I've had some stuff going on. Now is the right time. But either way, your job is to try and identify who's ready and work with them. Remember that mindset shift. Treat it like you're panning for gold. You're not trying to drag people. You're not forcing people to get started. You're literally sifting through, looking for the ones that are ready right now and leaving the door open for the ones that aren't, so that when they're ready, you will be there. So if you've ever felt like you're dragging your team and you really benefited from this, then do drop me a comment or send me a DM and let's actually chat about that. I'd love to hear what your experience is. If you need my help, I'm here to help. Looking forward to speaking with you. Buzzing with new ideas? Then like, save and share this to spread the inspiration.